guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to continue on with our read-along of Guardian. Let's jump right into it. Chapter 17. For a few seconds, Shun Wei seems lost in a trance, but no one could blame him. Compared to Go Chang Chung, the mild-mannered Professor Shun is a textbook example of what it means to be calm and collected. Finally, he lowers his eyes and pulls away from the hands groping him. He adjusts his glasses. I'm fine, thanks. Go Chang Chung has never been so pleased at the sight of a person in his life. Still on the floor, he cries, Chief Chow, help me! His miserable position is really quite comical. Zhao Yunlan quickly glances around the storage room to confirm that no one is injured. In an attempt to lighten the mood, he recites jokingly, What injustice dost thou bring? Hast thou got thyself an affidavit? Show me at once. Go Chang Chung falls face down on the ground. Shun Wei rubs his nose and hides his faint smile. The hungry ghost revives yet again. Shun Wei looks up and sees its scythe slashing towards Zhao Yunlan. Behind you! Zhao Yunlan spins around and narrowly dodges the first scythe, as the second one comes slicing down. Lifting his dagger above his head with both hands, he fends off the blow, then grabs the ghost by its wrist. His movements are swift and powerful, with well-trained precision and sharpness. He hasn't yet dropped his smile when he meets the hungry ghost's eyes, but it is chilly now. Behind the hungry ghost, a deep male voice chants, Namo Amitabha. A bell chimes from nowhere, a sound that travels along people's bones to their very souls. Go Chang Chung starts feeling dizzy and seeing stars, and the struggling Li Qian stops moving. The hungry ghost screams in agony as if shot in the head, an endless stream of black shadows rushing from its body. Zhao Yunlan lets go of it, and it shrinks down to just the size of a normal human, scrawny with a big stomach, feeble and withering. Zhao Yunlan leisurely takes out a glass bottle so small it fits into his palm. When he opens it, a cold stream of light shines through the bottleneck. The hungry ghost cowers and runs, but Lin Jing blocks the doorway and strikes a Mudra Mahabala. The force field bounces the ghost back into the room. Zhao Yunlan points the open bottleneck at the hungry ghost. The ghost looks like Munch's painting The Scream, and with one last expression of horror, it is sucked into the bottle. The translucent glass becomes opaque, and Zhao Yunlan closes the bottle with a cork stopper. He holds the mini prison against his ear and shakes it a few times, announcing cheerfully, Mission accomplished! Da Qing slowly awakens from his deep slumber and says morosely, You guys were committing police brutality again. You made so much noise. Zhao Yunlan picks up the cat and stuffs him into his bag. Da Qing moans feebly, What took you so long? Traffic jam on the 2nd Southeast Ring Road. Zhao Yunlan pats him on the head. Go to sleep, you'll get your bonus this time. Da Qing's eyelids droop and gradually close as he mutters, I want to eat grilled yellow corvina. Go Chang Chung looks at him dumbly. So it's over? Zhao Yunlan frowns impatiently, but quickly puts on a smile. After all, he doesn't want to spoil his friendly act. There's one more thing, he says. He crosses over to Shun Wei and takes his elbow. Are you really not injured? Sorry for dragging you into this. I'll have to take you for a checkup. Completely unguarded, Shun Wei lets him take his hand. Really? That's all. His face goes blank and he passes out. Zhao Yunlan gently catches Shun Wei, with one hand on his back and the other beneath his knees, and whispers into his ear. A female student called Li Qian attempted to jump from a building today. You sent her to the hospital, but you yourself passed out due to low blood sugar and stayed in the hospital for observation for a day. Lin Jing points at Li Qian and winks at Zhao Yunlan. Zhao Yunlan continues, Li Qian is involved in a murder case and is brought in for questioning by the police. You don't remember anything else. Shun Wei's glasses are askew and sliding down the bridge of his nose, revealing his slender eyebrows. His unconscious head is pillowed on Zhao Yunlan's shoulder. Zhao Yunlan carries him outside. Oh, he's princess carrying him? Wow. Lin Jing picks up Li Qian and puts her over his shoulder. After 2 steps, he notices Go Chang Chung isn't following, so he asks politely, Child, I have another shoulder. Would you like me to carry you as well? No need, thanks. Lin Jing bows, holding up one hand. Amitabha, you're welcome. He calmly walks away. Zhao Yunlan carefully avoids the duty nurse who appeared again at some point and puts Shen Wei in Li Qian's room. He takes off his glasses, sets them aside, covers him with a blanket, and turns on the air conditioning. After some thought, Zhao Yunlan takes the professor's right hand and draws an invisible soothing talisman on the back of it. Zhao Yunlan smirks and kisses his hand softly. Good night, Sleeping Beauty. Let's go. He signals Lin Jing and Go Changcheng. An important guest will arrive at midnight. We shouldn't make him wait. Wow, he's so forward. He gave Shen Wei's hand a kiss. Oh, he's waking up. When their footsteps have disappeared from the hallway, Shen Wei opens his eyes and sits up. There's not a trace of sleep on his face. He lifts his right hand and softly rubs the back of it. A golden talisman appears. Shen Wei looks at the symbol tenderly for a long time, an unconscious smile on his face, but eventually the smile wears away. He frowns, worried and in pain. Shen Wei lowers his voice and murmurs something. The golden talisman leaves his skin and solidifies into a small piece of paper. He takes the talisman and keeps it safe like a cherished treasure. He tidies the bed, jumps out of the window, and disappears into the night. When Zhao Yunlan and Ko return to number 4 Bright Avenue, it's almost midnight. Lao Wu opens his gigantic mouth and says, "Oh, Xiaogou, you're back! How was your first mission?" Having been hunted down by a hungry ghost for one whole night, Go Changcheng finds Lao Wu's paper face very approachable by comparison, so he puts on a feeble smile and says, tongue-in-cheek, It was alright." Lao Wu laughs. "It's okay, you're just starting out. You'll learn along the way. You're alive after all. You've got a future ahead of you." Go Changcheng realizes he has a workplace advantage. He's alive. Zhao Yunlan makes Lin Jing and Go Changcheng take Li Qian inside, parks the car, checks the time, and says quietly to Lao Wu, "You know about this case, right? We can't execute an escaped underworld prisoner, only arrest him, so the Ghost Slayer will visit in a while. Greet him politely." Lao Wu shivers in terror and lowers his voice. That person is coming?" Zhao Yunlan nods, pats Lao Wu on the shoulder, and lights a cigarette as he enters the office. Lao Wu dares not read the newspaper in the security room like he usually does, and instead stands upright by the door like a royal guard. Zhao Yunlan waves at Go Changcheng and points to a new desk. "This is your desk. If there are no special cases, our working hours are 9 to 5, but you don't have to punch in and out. If you have to arrive late or leave early on occasion, just call me. The responsibility is all yours. 12 to 1 is lunch. The canteen is on the 2nd floor. Meals are free for staff. Sick leave is paid. Insurance and pension are being arranged for you. You have nothing to worry about." Zhao Yunlan hands Go Changcheng a credit card. "Password is 6 1s. Change it to yourself. Salary and bonuses are all transferred here every 15th of every month. If you need to claim travel expenses, find Wang Zheng. You fill out the form during the day and leave it on her desk. She deals with it at night, and the next day you get the money." Go Changcheng takes the card with both hands and forgets all about Wang Zheng, the terrifying unbeheaded ghost. He feels a burst of unspeakable pride. Salary! That means he finally has a job! I have a salary now! He stammers, eyes lighting up. A money-grubbing moron, what a legendary mix of characteristics. Zhao Yunlan gives him a bitter smile. "Your uncle is so rich, you must have plenty of money to spend. What are you so excited for?" Go Changcheng raises his head, looking serious. "I need it! I really need it!" But he doesn't say what for. All he does is carefully place the card in his wallet like handling a one-of-a-kind antique. Zhao Yunlan is about to say something, but then he sees a white beam glimmer across Go Changcheng's body. He is astonished. This kid has a powerful aura of virtue. Is it his ancestors protecting him? Or is it good deeds from his past life? Or what is it? He puts out the cigarette and looks at Go Changcheng with narrowed eyes, but the boy is unreachable in his happiness. Then he quietly points to his room. "I'm usually in there. If you need anything, just knock." Zhao Yunlan wipes a hand down his face. There are dark bags under his eyes, and his eyelids are growing heavy. He slumps into his chair, resting his head in his arms on the desk. "Wake me up when he comes." Go Changcheng doesn't know who he is, but luckily Lin Jing is here, so the poor trainee knows he can safely take a nap for the first time in 24 hours. It seems barely any time later when Go Chang-chung wakes up and feels an eerie chill. End of chapter 17. So, to recap, we've got Zhao Yunlan with his grubby paws on Shen Wei's slender waist. Which, so I guess, he's really enjoying himself, but Shen Wei kind of like slowly pries them off. They're in public. And he asks, are you okay? Everyone's okay. Zhao Yunlan takes out a bottle and is able to suck up the evil spirit and capture it. Now, they all return. So then he takes Li Chen with him because they expect a meeting with the Dark Lord Envoy. Because he's the one that's in charge of Otherworld's escapees. And this ghost that they just captured is one such escapee. Before that, he tries to knock Shen Wei out and try to erase his memory, but as we know, Shen Wei ain't no ordinary professor. And so after Zhao Yunlan leaves, Shen Wei wakes up and jumps out the window onto his next location. Where is he going? We're gonna find out really, really soon. So, that's pretty much what happened in this chapter. Very lighthearted compared to previous chapters. Definitely not as scary, not scary at all, which I appreciate. I like the balance. Let's just continue on to the next one, shall we? Okay. Chapter 18. He's coming, guys. The air condenses in a rush of eerie frost. The air conditioner turns off on its own as the temperature in the room plummets down to freezing cold. White fractals crystallize on the window panes. The ghost staff members on duty have all stopped their work. They stand still and lower their heads, waiting for the arrival of a most important figure. Zhao Yunlan, awake again, is sitting upright with 4 cups on the table, pouring tea into them. Lin Jing has stood up. Go Chang-chung is puzzled but follows suit. The air conditioner beeps a few times and switches to heating mode. Firm footsteps echo through the hallway, stopping at the door of the SIU. Lao Wu opens it, politely ushering someone in. He is extremely respectful, like a eunuch following behind an emperor. He leads the figure into the office, pulls out a chair, and keeps his eyes lowered as he says, "Your Honor, this way, please." The figure says politely, "Thank you." It's a male voice, soft, pleasing and polite, but incredibly solemn. Go Chang-chung is still numb and sleepy. While everyone is frightened and keeping their eyes respectfully lowered, he alone musters up enough courage to look at the other person. His slender body is completely wrapped in a black cloak. His limbs are all covered and his face is obscured by a black mist. He stands at the door and greets the chief cordially. "Sorry to trouble you." The chief nods politely as the dark figure slowly walks into the room. Zhao Yunlan takes out a yellow paper talisman, lights it, and the ashes fall into a cup of hot tea and melts into the liquid. The hot liquid cools down instantly. At the same time, a cup of hot tea appears in the cloaked figure's hand. "No trouble," Zhao Yunlan says. "It has been a cold journey, so please take a seat, Ghost Slayer, and have a drink of warm tea." Looking at the chief burning the talisman and sending the tea, Go Chang-chung can't help but think of burning offerings to the dead, and his brain fixates on it. It takes a while for Zhao Yunlan's words to register. "A cold journey?" Go Chang-chung is bewildered. Isn't it the middle of summer? Where does this person come from? The trainee suddenly remembers something and shudders. When he was small, his grandma used to tell him that before someone dies, you must give them a hot meal and warm clothes. Otherwise, their soul might freeze on the way to the underworld. Could it be? The Ghost Slayer takes a sip. "Good tea, thank you very much." He walks past Go Chang-chung and sits opposite Zhao Yunlan. As he passes Go Chang-chung, catches a scent. It's nothing like the decaying odor of a hungry ghost. It's not unpleasant at all, but somewhat aromatic like incense, and incredibly mild. The smell reminds Go Chang-chung of winter in the greater Kingan mountain range. It had been snowing all night, and when he opened the door and went out in the morning, his first breath of air carried the smell of the endless white snow, unchanged all year round. It was extremely clean and cold, mixed with the fragrance of some dying flowers, a scent to freeze you for a moment and just leave you breathing. The Ghost Slayer speaks softly and gently, like a scholar in an ancient Chinese drama. There's nothing particularly frightening about him besides the sheer blackness, but as Go Chang-chung wakes up fully, he begins to feel terrified to his bones. That terror is inexplicable and illogical, yet it comes from the soul. Go Chang-chung now understands why the ghosts in the corridor are all terrified like mice meeting a cat. He comes from the southern hemisphere? It's winter over there! Go Chang-chung closes his eyes, no longer daring to look at the ghost slayer, and desperately tries to convince himself of a scientific explanation. There are 4 people in the office, human or ghost, plus the unconscious black cat. Zhao Yunlan pours 4 cups of tea, but neither Lin Jing nor Go Chang-chung dare to drink. The only person who is not frightened is Zhao Yunlan, who calmly sits at his desk and didn't even rise to greet the ghost slayer. He does stand up when Ghost Slayer has finished his tea. Come, I'll take you to the interrogation room. The Ghost Slayer follows him silently, passing humans and ghosts, keeping quiet in fear. As if making small talk, he says, "You don't look too well, Guardian. It must be because this case of ours keeps you busy day and night. Please do take care of yourself." Zhao Yunlan waves lazily. "I'm fine. I can survive a few all-nighters. If not, that'll be alright, too. I'm sure I could find some job or other in the underworld to get by." The Ghost Slayer disagrees. "Life and death are matters of great significance, Guardian. Perhaps it is best not to joke about them." Zhao Yunlan laughs it off and opens the door to the interrogation room. Li Qian has been screaming uncontrollably ever since she woke up, but the screaming stops abruptly as the Ghost Slayer enters. When Li Qian sees the Ghost Slayer, she quivers like a dying chicken, staring at him in horror. A moment later, her eyes roll back into her head and she falls unconscious. Go Chang-chung, who has been following at the very back, suddenly feels something lunging at his back and he stumbles backwards. The Ghost Slayer raises his arm, and his sleeve makes a powerful black wave gush outward. A ghostly figure flashes before them. A woman, long-haired and wearing a worn-out dress, is writhing and wailing, and in a moment the Ghost Slayer crushes it, turning it into black smoke and absorbing it into his sleeves. Obdurate in sin, still vainly possessing others, the sentence is death. The Ghost Slayer says blandly, his tone remaining as gentle and courteous as before. Go Chang-chung shivers. Zhao Yunlan ignores him and makes a gesture of invitation. There are 4 chairs and a desk in the room. Li Qian is now pale and unconscious, slumping in her restraints on the other side of the table. Lin Jing sprays water across her face to wake her up, and once she is awake, she says with... Wait, what? Sorry, let me say that again. Lin Jing sprays water across her face to wake her up, and once she is awake, says with his that which is formless emptiness face, "We're the police. We need to ask you some questions. Be honest or bear the consequences." Li Qian is puzzled, but she soon recognizes Zhao Yunlan and Go Chang-chung. She wants to say something, but realizes she's tied to a chair. Shocked, she looks down at the rope. What's going on? Compared to Lin Jing, Zhao Yunlan could be an official spokesman on TV. He looks much smoother and his tone is much gentler. The culprit who murdered Lu Romei and attacked you has been caught. We just need you to assist us with a routine statement. Can you do that? This looks nothing like a routine statement. It looks more like a trial. Li Qian isn't stupid, so she asks, "Then why am I tied up?" Zhao Yunlan raises his eyebrows, snaps his fingers, and the ropes are undone. The girl is startled by this, but she looks up, pretending to be calm, and accepts her gift of freedom. She rubs her untied wrists and moves her body about. Finally, she says with false bravado, "If you've caught the murderer already, then what's there left to ask? I've already told you everything. What time is it? I want to go home." Lin Jing slams his palm on the table in a show of bad cop. "Don't give me that BS. Just answer our questions. Are you trying to cover for the culprit? What's your motive? What was your relationship with the killer?" Li Qian is taken aback by his fierce style. Where Lin Jing's face is flushed with anger, Zhao Yunlan takes over as good cop, pretending to grab him by the shoulder. Holding him back, he asks Li Qian pleasantly, "On August 31st, 10:20 at night, you saw the victim Lu Romei by the entrance of the university. You also saw the thing that was tailing her. We have confirmed all this, so the case is basically solved. But there's something I personally would like to ask. Since when have you been able to see ghosts? Did it start after you touched the old sundial? Li Qian darts a quick glance at Lin Jing and concedes defeat. She drops her eyes and nods quickly, biting her lip. Zhao Yunlan's slender fingers gently tap on the table. Legend says that the sundial was crafted from a 3-life stone and inlaid with the scales of a fish from the River of Forgetfulness. It has the power to bring back the dead at the cost of one's own lifespan. And once you have used the sundial, you'll get so close to death that you start seeing the world of the dead superimposed on the world of the living. Right? Li Qian stares at Zhao Yunlan's fingers and nods without saying a word. Her shoulders are shaking a little. Zhao Yunlan leans back on his chair. You're a good filial kid, he sighs. Countless people boast they are filial to parents, obedient to teachers, but if they had the sundial of reincarnation in front of them, I wonder how many young people would be willing to give up half their life to bring back their deceased relatives. The Ghost Slayer interrupts. The sundial of reincarnation is one of the 4 mystical artifacts from the underworld. They can disrupt the order of yin and yang. Humans should not use them. Like everyone else, Li Qian doesn't dare look at him, but as she listens, she twists her fingers together and finally says with difficulty, I didn't know what it was. I only heard it was an old object with supernatural abilities. My grandma had a stroke all of a sudden while I was at school, so it took a while until anyone noticed. She raised me as a kid after my parents abandoned me. We had only each other to depend on. Do you know what that feels like? I couldn't even cry. I couldn't believe she was just gone like that. Just like that. Why do people die? So you found the sundial, Zhao Yunlan says. I thought I was going crazy. Who would believe such a thing? But it really worked. Li Qian glances at Zhao Yunlan and looks back down. I thought, what's there to be afraid of? I'm still young. Maybe I can live to 100. Even if I give her half, I can still live to 50. Why wouldn't I bring her back? If humans shouldn't use it, why did I find it right when I needed it? And why did it respond to my wish? End of chapter 18. Ooh, it ends at a cliffhanger. I see. Okay. So to recap chapter 18, the Ghost Slayer arrives at the SID, the SIU, at the SIU. It's called the SID, SID, in the drama. It's the SIU in the novel. So the Ghost Slayer arrives, Zhao Yunlan offers him tea. Everyone, besides Zhao Yunlan, is terrified of the Ghost Slayer. Don't even dare looking at him. And then they go and interrogate Li Qian. They are the Ghost Slayer exorcises the demonic ghost spirit inside of her. And then she wakes up and they start asking her where she got the sundial. So that's pretty much what's going on. They're just interrogating her a little bit, trying to see what she knows, which apparently isn't much. It just randomly showed up when she needed it. So someone must have planted it there. Well, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys next time. Hopefully we get more answers in the next read-along. Bye-bye!